I thought I'll put this video instead of writing it. Maybe it makes more clearer. So you can see again the alignment on the right hand side is not right in any of the reports. So profit and loss, balance sheets, if you see on my system, right hand side is hidden. So you need to just shrink the report slightly to make it visible on the right. Likewise for profit and loss, so when we double click an item, can we not default highlight the first line here? Then we can just use the keyboard. Otherwise, what is happening, every time we come back to one of the page, we will have to highlight the first line and then go down and start using the keyboard. So every time we need to use the mouse and keyboard together. Can we just not highlight the first line as soon as we enter a new report, so that we know we just need to use the keyboard in this place? And can we give a shortcut buttons to go back, like F3 to go back or escape to go back, so that we don't have to keep using the mouse again to go back. So as soon as we click one line, it highlights to the default line, first line. We come down, enter, and if we need to go back, just press escape button to go back, or F3 button. So can you please do this in all the reports? And you need to implement net profit balance that needs to go to the balance sheet. So a line of the net profit balance that should go to the balance sheet. Maybe the first line here on this report should show what's the net profit balance, and that will be transferred to balance sheet. The other defects on balance sheet, if you go to this trade creditors account, if I click this account, it shows 1647000, but when I go to the second view, you will see it's 747, not 1647. So if you go here and again drill down, you will see there is it makes 747 balance, but in our reports, in the first two reports, it shows as 1647. This is definitely an error in the reports. Another error in balance sheet. So all the balance sheet left hand side should represent credit balance on our transaction table. So transaction table credit balance should be on balance sheet left hand side. I mean, these are credit balances and these are debit balances. So if let's say, for example, ICICI Bank, this shows debit balance, but actually this is a credit balance. If you double click this item, then you can see it's a -1. So minus means it's a credit balance. So we need to show 450 as a minus in balance sheet. Okay, so for example, building, and this is plus, it's a debit balance, so it is okay. Now if you see on the left hand side, this should be a credit balance. This is a debit balance, this is a credit balance. So if you double click trade creditors, obviously this is an error, 747, it's a credit balance. So if, for example, a debit balance becomes more than a credit balance, then you show that balance as a minus on left hand side, because debit balance is more than credit balance on the left hand side. So I repeat once again, so on the liability side, it should all be a credit balance. If debit balance is more, you show in minus. Say, for example, on the right hand side, it should all be debit balance, and if credit balance is more, you show in minus. So it's just the other way around. So for example, like this, once again, ICICI Bank, we have made more payment to the customer than what we have got, so it's a minus balance. So we need to show that in minus in our reports. Okay, one error in stock report is when you click an item, stock inward is fine, stock outward should be, this should be the cost of sale, not the sale price, because we are valuing our closing stock on the cost price, not on sale price. So for example, if you have brought this stock for 100, we are selling for 200, the closing price should not be 100 minus 200. Instead, what is the cost of sales of 200? How to get this item? If you go to the next box, next item, so 748 minus 216 is 7263, which is wrong. If you double click this, 748 minus 216, if you double click this, you can see the amount 216 is coming from these two items, sale amount, but actually when we arrive at the closing stock, it should be based on cost of sale, which is FIFO or LIFO or average price, whatever is used. So in this case, so this is going to be not 216, it's going to be 408 plus 6800. That should be your cost of sales of the item. So you need to deduct 748 minus the cost of sale amount to arrive at the closing balance amount. The quantity is fine, but the amount should be arrived based on cost of sales. Error in tax report. So once we go inside the tax report, this should be represented by different rates of tax for VAT. For example, these all are 2600 account. We don't need to show this. Instead, what are the different types of VAT? 4%, 5% VAT. This should come here. Likewise, same here, we don't need to show the account code here, we need to show the rates. This comes from the basic settings, and if you go to optional setup, tax setup, we are talking about this column here. So it should come with this column. So when you double click again, we don't need to show 2600 account. Customer want to see what is the rate of VAT on this invoice.